The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer, they have these solutions for you. Hey, go there. You know, you get a free credit report audit for it's not a free, it's $1, right? It's not, the audit itself is free. The specific credit report that's needed to pull into the audit costs $1. So for $1, you get a free credit report audit, and you'll be able to see exactly what's going on in your credit report. And you might even be able to correct it on your own, or the team over at Credit Sanitizer may be able to help you. Did you know you have more than one FICO score? Since FICO scores were introduced to lenders over 25 years ago, they have become the best known and most widely used credit score. But quite a bit has changed since lenders first started using FICO scores in 1989. Lender credit granting requirements, data reporting practices, consumer demand for credit, and consumer use of credit have all evolved to help lenders make more informed credit granting decisions and help ensure you get access to the credit you need. The FICO score model has been updated periodically over the years. As an example, we use credit much more frequently than we used to. FICO scores have been updated to reflect this change in behavior. If we didn't, seemingly normal credit usage today would be considered a higher risk than in years past. The result is that there are multiple FICO score versions available, in addition to the most widely used version, FICO Score 8. If you are watching us on ronsiegelradio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you're seeing a chart of various FICO score models. And like I mentioned, FICO Score 8 is the most common. Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. If you look at the charts there's, I don't know, maybe 25 or 30 different FICO score models. How do lenders use the new FICO scores? When a new FICO score version like FICO Score 10 or FICO Score 10T is developed, it's released to the market. From there, each lender determines if and when it will upgrade to the latest version. Some lenders make the upgrade quickly, while others may take longer. This is why some lenders are currently using different versions of the FICO score. As an example, FICO Score 5 at Equifax is the FICO Score version previous to FICO Score 8 at Equifax. Other FICO Score versions, including industry-specific auto and bank card versions, are also included in the FICO Score products on myfico.com, so you can see what most lenders see when looking at your scores. FICO scores are evolving to keep up with modern behaviors and needs. Think of how people use different versions of computer operating systems or have older or newer generations of smartphones. They all share the same basic functionality, but the latest versions also have unique updated features to meet evolving user needs. So the flip phone is probably not quite the same as the iPhone 14. I don't even know what model they're on Android or Google phones or whatever. But think of it that way. They're not the same, but you can still make a phone call on both of them. Same goes for FICO scores. The various FICO score versions all have similar underlying foundation, and all versions effectively identify higher risk from people from lower risk people. Every time the FICO score algorithm is updated, it incorporates unique features, leverages new risk prediction technology, and reflects more recent consumer credit behaviors. The end result is a more predictive score that helps lenders make more informed lending decisions, which ultimately makes the credit process easier, faster, and fairer. What was new with FICO Score 9? While the underlying foundation of FICO Score 9 is consistent with previous versions, there are several unique features that make up FICO Score 9. Any third-party collections, including medical, that have been paid off no longer have a negative impact. Medical collections are treated differently than other types of debt. Unpaid medical collections will have less of a negative impact on FICO Score 9. Rental history, when it's reported, factors into the score. This may be especially beneficial for people with a limited credit history. Introducing the FICO Score 10 suite, the most recent updated FICO Score version. FICO Score 10 relies on the same design and key ingredients of prior models, as well as captures the subtle shifts in consumer credit data that have occurred over 5+ years since FICO Score 9 launched, such as increasing the use of personal loans, especially for purposes of debt consolidation. As long as consumers practice good habits like consistently paying bills on time, lowering their debts as much as possible and applying for credit only when needed, they can achieve and maintain a good FICO score. FICO Score 10T builds on FICO Score 10 by also assessing trended credit bureau data, which determines your scores. Scores that don't use trended data typically use the most recently reported month of data to drive certain components of the credit score, such as the most recently reported balance and/or credit limit on the account. By contrast, the FICO Score 10T, the trended data, considers a longer historical time frame, the previous 24 months or longer, of the balance and/or credit limit to get a more refined view of your credit risk. The trended data allows the credit scoring model to determine what your trend is. Are your balances trending up, down, or staying the same? Someone whose balances are trending up may be a higher risk than someone whose balances are trending down or staying the same. FICO Score 10 and FICO Score 10T are currently available to lenders. Industry-specific FICO scores are FICO Score versions that are optimized for a certain type of credit product, such as auto loans or credit cards. The foundation of these versions is the same as the base FICO Score versions, but they are fine-tuned based on industry-specific behaviors. This helps ensure that lenders get optimal information and can make better decisions so that you get access to the right credit. So what's the difference between FICO scores and industry-specific FICO scores? Base FICO scores, such as FICO Score 8, are designed to predict the likelihood of not paying as agreed in the future on any credit obligation, whether it's a mortgage, credit card, student loan, or other product. Industry-specific scores incorporate the predictive power of base FICO scores while providing lenders a further refined credit risk assessment tailored to the type of credit the consumer is seeking. For example, auto lenders and credit card issuers may use a FICO auto score or a FICO bank card score, respectively, instead of a base FICO scores. FICO auto scores and FICO bank card scores have these aspects in common. Many lenders may use these scores instead of the base FICO score. It's up to each lender to determine which credit score they will use and what other financial information they'll consider in their credit review process. These versions range from 250 to 900 compared to the 300 to 850 for base FICO scores, and higher scores continue to equate to lower risk. Which score version is important? Well, you got to figure what you're using it for. Financing a car, applying for a credit card, purchasing a home, or refinancing a home. Your friends at creditsanitizer.com can help you with that information. That is Your Credit Matters, brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. Your credit report is wrong. What are you doing about it? Find out what's wrong on it with that free credit report audit. You got to get the report. It costs $1.